Shalom, 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 Yisrael. This is Brother J. Yisrael coming at you again on this Sabbath day, on this Shabbat, to fellowship, honor, worship, and praise the Most High Yah. All praise to the Most High, the El Shaddai, the great Elohim. Thank you for letting us be here another day, Father. Thank you for all that you do, things that we see and don't see, things that you will do, have done, and will do in the future. Thank you. Hallelujah. Picking back where we left off at, we were talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. The angel of Yah coming to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham pleading on behalf of Sodom and Gomorrah, saying to the Most High, if I find, if you find 50 men, if you find 45 men, if you find 40, if you find 30, if you find 20 righteous men or women in the nation of Sodom and Gomorrah, will you destroy everybody for the sake, of the wicked? Will you destroy everybody for the sake of the wicked? So the Most High, like, well, for the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. But the Most High know all. He know it wasn't gonna be 10 righteous men or women there. That was this point in the whole place of saying, I'm getting rid of this place totally. So, Abraham showed his righteous heart because he's pleading on behalf of some people that's not even, he don't live there. They not his people. Now, he may have had an affinity in some way because he knew Lot was there, his nephew. Lot was in Sodom. But it says, Genesis 19, the two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. My lords, he said, turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, and then go on your way early in the morning. No, they answered, we will spend the night in the square. But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. So a mob of men surround the house from Sodom. They called to Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them. I'll read that again. Genesis 19 and 5. They called to Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them. Not women, men. So a mob of men wanted to rape some other men. This is the type of sick stuff that was going on. Fast forward to many times in history, and even let's think about today, prison, not just in prison, it happens in the military, it happens in schools, it happens at parties, all this wickedness of male homosexual rape and all this stuff is nothing new under the sun, as like the Most High says. So this was going on back then. Stuff like this. It might not have been the norm, but it was the norm, obviously, something like this in Sodom, because as soon as the men came, here they come. Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, no, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man, so two virgin daughters. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them, but don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof. Remember, these are men of Yah. So he like, don't do nothing to them. That wouldn't be wise. And plus, that's sick and unrighteous trying to do something to a man anyway. Now, He didn't want them to do anything to his daughters, but I guess if it's a mob, this is my only rationale that I could possibly make. If it's a mob of men that's acting crazy, talking about bring them out so we can rape them, we can have sex with them, and all this stuff, he's probably in fear, I'm sure. So he like, well, before they kill us, before they rape everybody, at least if they rape the women, then or have sex with the women, at least males are supposed to have sex with women. It's wrong either way it goes. But I don't know. That's the only rationale that I can make from it. He shouldn't have been trying to send anybody out there. But again, he was a part of the society. So even if he wasn't doing the wickedness of Sodom, when you're in bed with wickedness, when you're surrounded by it, some of that wickedness had to rub off on him, or he had to be able to at least willing to accept wickedness for him to be living in Sodom and have some type of position there. He had to be at least willing to accept it if he wasn't doing it any of it himself. Get out of our way, they replied, and they said, this fellow came here as an alien or foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them. They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. So again, he was in fear. He lived in Sodom. He know the wickedness that was going on there. He know what they capable of, and they told him like, not only we gonna rape them, we gonna do worse to you. So whatever's worse than male on male rape, I don't know what that is, but they said they gonna do worse to him. So I'm guess torturing him in some way, killing him, whatever. I don't know. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, so they could not find the door. Remember, these are men of Yah. When they say men of God in the Bible, men of Yah, a lot of times they're meaning angels. Sometimes they're meaning just men of Yah, actual men in the flesh, but most of the time, a lot of the time, they are meaning angels. Or even if they are men in the flesh, they're operating under the spirit of the Most High Yah. So he's giving them abilities and powers to be able to do certain things. So they struck the men with blindness so they could not find the door because they was going to just break down the door and come in the house, storm it, probably rape and kill everybody anyway. So that's probably Lot's rationale and even saying that, like, well, sometimes in cultures, like amongst our people, you would say, like, well, how could you give up your daughter, or how could you give up your son in slavery, or in a situation where the overseer or the master, as they were called, or massa, which means my burden, they were going to harm your family. How could you give up one of your children or give up two out of four? But I guess the rationale when you feel like you don't have a choice, or the choice is everybody gets hurt or one person gets hurt, until you put in that situation, you can't really say what you'll do. You can say what you'll do, but you don't know what you'll do. Because some people will say, well, if I have four children and I give one up in slavery, at least I have three left that are with me. Other people will say, I'm not giving nobody up. Well, they would probably just take everybody. Some people will say, well, they'll just have to kill us. Well, if that's not under your control, you're not always able to just be killed. Sometimes people just torture people. Sometimes if it's a mob and you're overpowered, they'll just take you and pick you up. You seen like a mosh pit or a crowd, people can pick you up and you don't even have any control of your body. If it's 4 or 5 men, they grab you and put you in the air, or 10 men grab you and put you. You're not fighting off 10 men without no weapons. And if you're not specially trained, if the spirit of the Most High don't come over you, you're not beating 10 men. So they struck him with blindness, so they could not find the door. The two men said to Lot, who came, the men of Yah, Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-laws, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to Yah against his people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it. So these are not no ordinary men. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, hurry and get out of this place because Yah is about to destroy the city. But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, hurry. Again, angels. But they said men of Yah at first, men of God at first. Now they're saying angels. But you have to remember that many times when the Bible says men of Yah, men of God, they're saying angels. Hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished. When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and his two daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Most High was merciful to them. So the men of Yah, the angels, led him out because he hesitated. We're going to see that hesitation come up again in his family, in his house. But the question is, why do you keep hesitating? If you know that the place is wicked, if you know that the Most High sent these men to destroy the city, now you may not quite believe it, but why you keep hesitating? And we have to be careful with that in our lives. And I know we in human form, it's hard. Sometimes you're not going to know what's coming. Sometimes you're not going to know the exact route. Many times, most times, you're probably not going to know. You're not going to know the moves of the Most High Yah. You're not going to know the route that he's choosing. But if he tells you something, reveals that to you in a dream or through something, somebody tells you, you asking him things and he's revealing things to you, you just got to go with the Father. As they say, walk by faith and not by sight. It's not about what you're going to see because your eyes can only see so much. And some of us wear glasses and contacts and all that. Our eyes can't see much as it is. And you think you're going to outsee the Most High. It's not going to happen. You can't even outsee, things in the regular world. You can't see something 10 feet away, but you think you're going to see the future and know what's going on. That's preposterous. That's us being in our folly, in our foolishness, stubborn, stiff-necked, afraid most of the time, and trying to have all the answers. Afraid that if we can't see it, then we don't know what to do. We trying to solve the problem in our own mind as people, as human beings, trying to solve it in your own mind. If you having money problems, you start thinking about, well, what can I do to get this money? What can I do to get this bill paid? That's human nature. But a lot of times when we do those things and we don't go to the Most High, then you operating off your own understanding. You are trying to operate off your own mind, and you're more prone to slip up, to mess up, or to do wickedness because you like, well, I need money. So if somebody presents an opportunity to get money, it may be unrighteous. It might not be the path that you're supposed to be on. You'll take a job just to get the money. The Most High had you going in a whole nother direction. Maybe you moved out of the city. He didn't want you to move out of the city. But you just moved out of the city to take a new job. Or you stayed in the city and he wanted you to go and he was gonna make you something much better, but you want to stay in the city just to get this money. So you took this job that he don't want you to have and now you miserable. Or now it just altered the path that he had you to be on and what he had for you. And instead of getting it in 3 months, it took you 5 years to get what he had for you because you didn't went off the path. This is how these things work. It's tough though, but you have to have faith. When he hesitated, the man grasped his hand in the hands of his wife and his two daughters and led them safely out of the city, for Yah was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, Flee for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains or you will be swept away. But Lot said to them, No, my lords, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life, but I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared. He said to him, Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly, because I cannot do anything until you reach it. That is why that town is called Zoar, which means small. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Most High rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Most High out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew these cities and the entire plain, including all those living in the city, and also the vegetation in the land. But wife's Lot looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. So she died. She looked back again. They told him, don't look back for the destruction that was coming. She looked back again. So we go right back to the not listening, not believing, not having faith, looking back to your past life or things that weren't good for you. This is a perfect example of that. Lot's wife died. She became a pillar of salt because she looked back. They were being destroyed by sulfur and fire. She looked back. The angels told her, don't look back. Told all of them, don't look back. Lot hesitated initially and didn't want to leave the city. And then even when he did leave and they led him out, he didn't want to go to the mountains as they told him. He wanted to go to some other small town nearby. So again, us just always trying to do what we want to do. And as a result of even that move that he made, something else happened to him later, which could be viewed as a punishment or just a result of not listening. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he stood before Yah. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. So when Yah destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. So I don't think it was even more so Lot having favor in the Most High's eyes. Based off the text, it was Abraham having favor in the Most High's eyes that spared Lot, because the Most High will spare people that are connected and related to you if he has that type of favor for you. Your lineage, your descendants, your family members and relatives, he'll spare them or he'll have favor on them because of your favor. So it's not always about what we do as individuals just being for ourselves. Staying out of wickedness and not sinning, doing righteousness is not only for us and our own salvation, our own lives, and how we are going to live and how the Most High will have favor on us in this life and, of course, in the next, but it's also for your generations and your lineage to come. That's why Israelites, so-called black people, are going through this plight, because our ancestors did all this wickedness, and as a result, we're up under the curses, and we're being punished for years and years to come because of what they did. We're also doing wickedness too, but the curses have already took effect from a long time ago. It was already prophesied that these things were going to happen to us, and we'll go over that at a later time. We might touch on a little bit of that today if we have time. But the Most High said he will punish to the fourth, fifth, sixth generation for wickedness and for those who hate him, but he will bless for thousands of generations for those who love him. So it's not just about you when we talking about these things. People are be selfish when they be doing these things because you got to realize, like, man, you're gonna have children and other relatives, grandchildren, you're gonna be gone. But what about them? They have to be here. So when you doing these wicked things, even from a practical standpoint in the world, if you are out here causing trouble, gang banging, or ripping people off, doing different things, it's not just about you. Okay, you might pass away or you might stop and move out of town somewhere. But what about your children? And somebody will say, well, your children will be with you. No, they're not. When we talk about most Israelite men, most black men, your children aren't with you most of the time. You might have children in several different households. So what about your children? What happens with them because of the things that you might have done in the streets? What about your cousins? What about your brothers and sisters? What about your mother, your father, whoever, people connected to you? We know these things happen every day. Somebody will strike them because of something you did. Or you get a certain reputation or name and then it affects your children. People do these things and think it's cool. Oh, I killed this many people. I did this. I did that. They going on the internet talking about it and all, but you have children, you have family members. But that's selfishness and wickedness because wickedness don't care. Wickedness likes chaos, wants destruction. Satan wants destruction. So you doing bad things and other people getting hurt who had nothing to do with it, that fits right into Satan's plan. But that's how you could tell somebody that's working with the enemy and somebody who, even if they do wrong things, they still have the Most High in them. They want to do righteousness because even when they do something wrong, they start thinking about, okay, well, let me fix this. How can I fix this? But you can't do a whole bunch of wrong, a whole bunch of sins, and then just be like, okay, let me fix this. Because sometimes the weight and the measure of what you did is too much. You can't go 30 years of killing people and getting other people to kill people and doing all these unrighteous things, this wickedness, and then just one day say, "Oh man, y'all need to put the guns down." Well, what you think? Even if you reach a few people that listen to you and say, "Okay, yeah, big homie said put the guns down," but you didn't win 30 years of influencing people to kill people. So the weight of your sin greatly outmeasures your righteous acts. It's not to say the Most High don't see them, but it still might not make that big of a difference in your punishment and certain types of things because the Most High gonna punish you for your wickedness. Just like a good father would do, just like a good parent would do. You're not gonna let your child just do anything and then say, well, you stole out of my wallet, you've been cussing me out. You won't go to school. You won't clean after yourself around the house. And then I'm going to go out and buy you whatever you want. And I'm not going to say nothing and I'm going to let you do whatever you do. You would be a terrible parent. You're going to say something and punish that child. That don't mean you don't love the child. That don't mean if the child don't start doing right a year later, you're not going to acknowledge his righteous acts or her righteous acts, but you still got to punish them for the wicked things because if you don't do it, well, how do they know the difference between right and wrong and what will ever make them not do wrong? If you get rewarded just like people do in this life, in this worldly life, people get rewarded for being wicked. These organizations that people are in, this fame and all, they're getting rewarded for being wicked, for being satanic. They're getting rewarded for these things: money, power, people worshiping them. Oh, I love this person. You love somebody that you never met. I'll do anything for this. Oh, this is my idol. This is my favorite. These are the things people say. So these people have power, but they have power through Satan. They have power through wickedness. And although that's power in the world, it don't trump the Most High power. You still got the answer to the Most High. He can put a stop to anything the minute he's ready. Plus, this life's so short. These little 40, 50, 60, 70 years go by so fast. And then you got all eternity to suffer. Then your lineage that come behind you, so forth and so on, for thousands of years may suffer for what you did because you wanted to do some wickedness so you could have an easy life or whatever in the world. It ain't worth it. So now we're going to get to Lot and him not listening. What happened to him? We already said one part of what happened to him and his house. His wife was turned to a pillar of salt. She was killed. But it's even some more that came on that because he was told to go to the mountains because he was hesitating and doing all this. So Lot and his two daughters left Zoar and settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. So now he leaves the town of Zoar and he goes to the mountains now. He and his two daughters lived in the cave. So I mean that already, we don't stay in no caves. So he already messed up. You not listening to the Most High. You kind of just operating out of your fear, going where you want to go. One day, the older daughter said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man around here to lie with us, as is our custom, as is the custom all over earth." So they saying, "There's no men to have sex with, as they do all over earth," which that's right, men and women, lie together, have sex together, okay. So this is what they say. "Let's get our father to drink wine and then lie with him and preserve our family line through our father." Now in those days, the family lines used to be closer. The amount of people used to be close. So you might have got with a cousin or a half sister as Abraham did, or so it was less people to keep the lane. You could do that in those days, but you couldn't do close relatives, like super close relatives, even though those were close relatives. And later on, the Most High outlawed that. But even in this state, you definitely couldn't lay with your father. But because there was nobody else around, they young women, they ready, they want to have children, they want to continue their lineage. They looking at it like, okay, we in this cave. There's no other men around, so now Satan get to playing on their mind with that wickedness. Let's get our father drunk and lay with him. Well, they know it was wicked because they had to get him drunk to do it. And when they say drunk, we don't know what type of drunk. Because I was saying, as I always read this, I'm like, man, I don't know what type of liquor that was that they could get him drunk and he'll lay with them, because that's what ended up happening. I'm gonna keep going. That night they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and lay with him. He was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. The next day the older daughter said to the younger, "Last night I lay with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight, and you go in and lay with him, so we can preserve our family line through our father." So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and lay with him. Again, he was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The older daughter had a son, and she named him Moab. which means from father. He is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger daughter also had a son, and she named him Ben Ami, and it means son of my people. He is the father of the Ammonites today. So as you read along in your Bible and learn your biblical history, the Moabites and the Ammonites, we fought against them many times. They caused problems, but they're relatives of the Israelites. These are the sons of Lot. When they say sons or they say fathers, it just means your lineage. It don't mean you that's the direct son. It means the lineage. Grandfathers, great, great, great. That's they father. The father of the Moabites is Lot. The father of the Ammonites is Lot. But it came through incest. It came through two daughters sleeping, getting their father drunk off whatever type, because we don't know. We just saying in our minds, because like again, when I read it, I'm like, well, what type of wine was that? What wine can you drink that you can get? But we don't know what type of liquor they had back in that day. We don't know what they made up. They got liquor out here that's 100 proof, 110 proof, and all that type of stuff. So it could have been something like that. They could have put some other type of herb or something in it, some type of plant to really get him drugged up and doped up. You know what I mean? We don't know. Because if he wasn't aware of what he was doing, then it had to be super powerful. It wasn't just no regular little wine that you would get off the shelf from a store. Because ain't that much wine in the world for you to sleep with your daughters and you don't know. So it had to be something super potent. They became pregnant, and the one had a son. The older daughter's first son was Moab. He's the father of the Moabites. And the younger daughter had a son named Ben Ami, and he's the father of the Ammonites. So this is a result of things that can happen when you're not listening to the Most High. And, we don't know exact what Lot was doing. Because again, if you in a land, if you in a nation, and all they doing is wickedness, it's almost like today. In you're not gonna become a star. You're not gonna get in Hollywood and all these places if you're not doing certain things. It's just facts. Y'all can think what you want, do the research, out here. If you don't know, then you figure it out. The world is wicked. What they telling people to do. They telling you your gender don't matter. Just because they say, you hear some people in mainstream society and the celebrities are, just because they say thank God, praise God, that means nothing. A God is a deity. They is not talking about Yah. They is talking about whatever gods that they praise to. Many of these people look to Satan as a god, as they God. So just because somebody say, I pray to God, praise God, that means nothing. They could be talking about anybody. And based off the actions, based off who they affiliated with, how everything moving, who paying they bills, the way they behave, what they say, they ain't talking about the Most High Yah as they God. So who they talking about? Now, Abraham ended up having his son Isaac. This is Genesis 21, the birth of Isaac. Now the Most High was gracious to Sarah, as he had said, and the Most High did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time Yah had promised him. Abraham gave the name Isaac, which means to laugh, or he laughs. Because remember, they laughed. He laughed and Sarah laughed when they was told that they was gonna have that baby at that old age. They like, nah, they can't believe it. So Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son was 8 days old, as the covenant that the Most High gave to Abraham, Abraham circumcised him as Yah commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. So that's crazy. 100 years old. Sarah said, Yah has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar the Egyptian, now that's Hagar is Abraham's other wife, and he has the son Ishmael by her. So Hagar the Egyptian had born to Abraham was mocking, and she said to Abraham, get rid of that slave woman and her son, for that slave woman's son will never share an inheritance with my son Isaac. So although many Hebrew men had multiple wives, some one, some two or three, some a whole lot. Solomon had so many you can't even count. I think 700 wives or something crazy. But it still could be problematic, just like anything else. Obviously, you got two wives in this example. Abraham has Sarah and he has Hagar. They rivals. They rivaling with each other. So at first, Hagar wasn't feeling Sarah. She was, feeling a certain way towards Sarah. Then she left and came back. Now, she started kind of mocking again, or Sarah felt that way, and now Sarah is saying, get rid of that slave woman and her son. He's caught up in the middle because those are both his wives, and he got children by both of them. Again, who do these people sound like? Who this happens to every day? It happens to brothers every day with their baby mamas, they different girlfriends and mistresses and wives. And people be like, well, they brothers ain't got no 2 and 3 and 4 wives. As far as the Most High is concerned, when you land with a woman and cause sex is a bond that comes from the Most High. It's a spiritual tie. So when you land with different women, I'm not saying that any woman you lay with is just automatically considered your wife, but I mean, it's not that far off from that. I mean, I think as far as the Most High, he don't say go to no other nation to declare somebody as your wife. It's just going before him, going before y'all family and stuff. If somebody saying that's your wife, but from a spiritual standpoint, once you go in and you going in natural, unprotected, as they call it, raw, that's spiritually, that really is your wife. Especially if you doing it over and over again, that's your wife. So brothers do be having multiple wives. I'm sorry to tell you, sisters. I'm sorry to tell you, brothers. People be having multiple wives, whether you like it or not, and know it, because brothers be laying with different women. Brothers be having children with different women. And even if you don't want to say it's their wife, well, it's their concubine at the very least, which is very close to a wife, is basically the same thing too. So, I mean, he got two rival wives, and Sarah like, get rid of that slave woman and her son, for that slave woman's son will never share an inheritance with my son. Brothers go through that all the time. How many times do brothers get put on child support? As soon as she find out that you either got another woman, i.e., another wife or concubine, or especially soon as you have another baby. Oh, that baby ain't gonna take away from my baby. These are mentalities and spirits that are not It's nothing new under the sun. The same type of stuff was going on and been going on. It's just a different day. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But Yah said to him, do not be distressed about the boy and your maidservant. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring, your seed, will be reckoned. So the Most High is telling him, although I'm going to look out for your other wife, I'm going to look out for your other son, Ishmael, I'm going to look out for Hagar, your lineage, your seed is going to be blessed through Sarah's son, through Isaac, through your son Isaac. So listen to what she say. You can go ahead and, send on off Hagar off, because, I don't want no more turmoil in your house. And then you're gonna get your blessings and stuff through Isaac, as far as your lineage being blessed for the future generations for years and years and years is gonna come through Isaac anyway. The Most High says, Genesis 21 and 13, I will make the son of the maidservant into a nation also, because he is your offspring. Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He set them on her shoulders and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down nearby, about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there nearby, she began to sob, or the child began to sob in Hebrew. Yah heard the boy crying, and the angel of Yah called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, what is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. Yah has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation. So the Most High is saying, I'm still going to make him into a great nation because of Abraham. They ran out of water, because they would put water in them days sometime in a wine skin. It's like a little, it's like made out of hide. It's like a little thing that hold water. I'm sure y'all seen it before in one of the older movies. Then Yah opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. Yah was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. At that time, Abimelech and Philcol, the commander of his forces, said to Abraham, Yah is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me here before Yah that you will not deal falsely with me or my children or my descendants. Show to me and the country where you are living as an alien or foreigner the same kindness I have showed you. Abraham said, I swear it. Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well of water that Abimelech's servants had seized. But Abimelech said, I don't know who has done this. You did not tell me, and I have heard about it only today. So Abraham bought sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two men made a treaty. Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs from the flock, and Abimelech said to Abraham, what is the meaning of these 7 ewe lambs you have set apart by themselves? He replied, accept these 7 lambs from my hand as a witness that I dug this well. So that place was called Beersheba, because the two men swore an oath there. Beersheba means well of 7 or well of oath, because they made an oath there. That's why they named it that. After the treaty had been made at Beersheba, Abimelech and Philcol, the commander of his forces, returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he called upon the name of Yah, the eternal ELOHIM. And Abraham stayed in the land of the Philistines for a long time. So Abraham is about to get tested by the Most High to see his faithfulness. Things like this, these types of lessons are very important in teaching your children and teaching yourself. Just learning, because in life we go through so many things, and sometimes you just have to reiterate to yourself. The Most High teaches you over and over again, shows you these lessons so you can know how He operates. So when you go through the things in your life, you don't be all over the place every time something happens or every time you test it and you thinking, oh, the Most High don't love me. Oh, you listening to people, if something happened to you, people will try to tell you, just like they told Job, oh, you must have did all this wrong and you must be a horrible person, because if you wasn't, if you stuff was going good for you, why would the Most High let something bad to you if you haven't done some horrible things, or if you lost favor in His eyes? And that's not always the case. Again, we don't know how the Most High operates and what all his moves all the time. You can't say what He's gonna do or why He did it all the time. Like in the story of Joseph, when Joseph got sold into slavery, from a human aspect, you would say, oh, he lost favor with the Most High. The Most High pretty much abandoned his brother, sold him into slavery. He done. Then after that, he was doing okay in Potiphar's house, and then Potiphar's wife tried to come on to him, and then he ended up rejecting her, and then he got sent to prison. Again, people be like, oh, well, that's it. He in prison. He done. He in prison in a foreign land. He done. The Most High, but from prison, even the Most High was with him even in prison. And he rose out of prison and went on to become Pharaoh's right-hand man, basically the general, the commander over all of Egypt. And he went on to save everybody. And it wasn't that the Most High wanted to just save Egypt. He wanted to save Israel. He wanted to save Jacob, because he was blessing Jacob's lineage. Jacob was the father of Joseph. So in order to save Jacob and the rest of the Israelite lineage, he had to help Egypt to do so, and some other nations. So who would have ever thought that? The Egyptians and them other nations, they wasn't even honoring Yah. So we don't know. We can't know how the Most High gonna move to do what He do. Nobody would have never saw that coming. Genesis 22. Sometime later, Yah tested Abraham. He said to Abraham, "Here I am," he replied. Then Yah said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about." Early the next morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey. He took with him two of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place Yah had told him about. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father, "Father." "Yes, my son," Abraham replied. "The fire and wood are here," Isaac said. So Isaac wasn't no fool. "The fire and the wood are here," Isaac said, "but where's the lamb for the burnt offering?" So that tell you, even he's a child, but Isaac wasn't no fool. He looking around, he like, okay, I know what goes on. He like, I know what the burnt offering is to the Most High Yah. We got the fire, we got the wood, but where's the lamb? or the sheep or whatever we gonna give him as the actual offering? Abraham answered, Yah himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together. When they reached the place Yah had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son, that means tied, his son Isaac, and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. So he about to go along with what the Most High instructed him to do. Now, I know this is one of the most talked about verses to try to discredit the Most High Yah, to try to say, oh, what type of God would do that? What you mean? God's people were sacrificing people to the gods all the time. But again, you have to finish off with the story and you have to understand the motive behind what happened. When they reached the place Yah had told him about, Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But, Genesis 22:11, but the angel of Yah called out to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Do not lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear Yah because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. So the Most High stopped it. So when they try to use this to discredit the Most High, which who cares what people say anyway, it's just a man or a woman. What they gonna do for your salvation? They can't do nothing. Did they create you? So who really cares what they say? But the Most High did not have him kill his child. The Most High don't do human sacrifices where you sacrificing your children. That's the mother gods. And plenty of them do it. So when people be trying to say, oh, what type of God? Satan have you do blood sacrifices, or with all them other wicked fake deities and false idols, they have you do blood sacrifices and kill people and give up your children and set your children through the fire like the god Moloch did in the olden times and all that. They sacrifice children and different people all the time. But the Most High don't do that. The whole point was he was wanted to see was Abraham an all faithful type of servant. What would he do? Would he be willing to give up everything, give up something he loves so much for the Most High Yah? And he proved that he would. Because if the Most High Yah gave you the child, then he can take the child away. He the one that gave you the child. But he stopped him because the Most High don't do that wickedness. He's a God of love, an ELOHIM of love. Abraham looked up, and there in the thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place Yah will provide. And to this day it is said, on the mountain of Yah it will be provided. The angel of the Most High called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares Yah, that because you have done this and you have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand of the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring, your seed, all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together in Beersheba, and Abraham stayed in Beersheba. So, because he was willing to show his faith in the Most High Yah, that's when the Most High really established his covenant. He told him that he was going to do it, that he was going to bless his lineage through Isaac. he was going to make Ishmael into a great nation, his other son. But that son is gone off. So this is the only son he got right now. He was willing to give up that son for the Most High. And through that, that just deepened and further established the covenant between Yah and the Most High. Yah, like, well, the fact that you was willing to do that, I already had favor for you. I already had a plan for you, but you passed the test. And that's how we can relate that to our lives, passing the test. The test might be change jobs without knowing what's going to happen. The test might be quit a job and not have a job because I'm telling you to do it. The test might be get out of that relationship. It might not even be a super bad relationship, but it might be that's not the one for you. The test might be get out of that horrible relationship, even though you don't know where you going to stay, or you've been with that person 15 years and you don't know nothing else. 20, 25 years, you don't really know nothing else. The test might be like, get away from your mother, get away from your father. That friend that you got that you care about so much don't care about you, or I don't want that person in your life. Get away from that person. And you like, man, I can't see that. That's my road dog. That's my homie, man. That's my girl. That's my day one. You ain't supposed to choose nothing over the Most High. And if the Most High moving you away from something or somebody, he doing it for a reason. You can't see it, you might not know it, but it's not important for you to see it at the time because you can only operate through a human lens. And that's a small lens because we operate off base emotions. Most people are operating off of fear. Everything we do is about pleasure, fear, anger, loneliness, pursuit of happiness. Same thing as pleasure. So you're going to do what's comfortable, what you think is going to make you happy or bring you some pleasure at the time or for the moment. You're going to go off of just what you know and what you used to. You're going to go off of, I don't want to be by myself, or I don't want to be lonely. That's fear. I don't know. I don't know how this bill going to get paid. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm feeling this, so I don't want to feel this no more, so let me do this. But sometimes maybe you have to go through it to get stronger. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you nothing that this word is not saying, and nothing that haven't been put on my spirit to say or do, or that I haven't went through. And I'm not claiming that I got it mastered or I'm perfect or I'm far from any of that. But I have been through some things, and I know the Most High bring you through. I done been through illness. I done been through anxiety, fear, not knowing. I done been through plenty of times of not knowing. I done been through times where things happen and the Most High take you out of things, and ain't nowhere in the world you didn't get out of that because of nothing with you. You didn't get out of that because of your grace or because it was anything so great about you. You got out of that through the Most High. Or your child got out of that, which is still you. Your lineage got out of that through the Most High. I done been through so many things in regards to my children, my personal self. I cannot deny the Most High and His presence in no way, shape, or form because I've seen it. And He'll use a little nobody like me, as y'all always call me, because even like in the movie The Lion King, Rafiki told Simba when Simba said he just a nobody. He don't want to be king, and that was prophetic. What was said, even sometimes in things that are not necessarily intended for that. Sometimes you can pull good things out of that. So that's a movie that you can watch with your child. Long as you explaining things. It's not to promote, that company. Cause I don't promote that company or none of them companies. Cause it's a lot of wickedness and a lot of them things. But in that movie, He told him, even a nobody is somebody. So a little nobody to the world might be a big somebody to the Most High. Because the Most High not looking for the things that the world looking for. The world looking for who's the most handsome, who's the prettiest, who got the big name, who willing to do this and willing to do that in wickedness, who willing to lead the people astray, who willing to cut up their body and make themselves look a certain way, who got the most money, the fancy car. The Most High not looking for none of that. He looking for the oddball. He looking for the people that y'all don't like. He looking for the person that's been shunned. He looking for the person that don't have much. Because the person that got everything, while y'all brag about these things, the world tell you to get deep into these things. The person who got the fancy cars, let's just be truthful about it. The person that got a bunch of stuff going on all the time. The person who think they got all these friends, all these people in their ear. The person who everybody cheering, and whether it's on a small level or a big scale, they not listening to the Most High because they don't got time. They got too many people in their ear. They got too many worldly possessions that mean too much. That car mean too much to you. All them girls mean too much to you. All them guys and that attention mean too much to you. Your social media followers, it mean too much, too special to you. You can't call on Yah. You ain't trusting the Most High because you worried about people. You worry about materials. You worry about self. The Most High can use you when He gets you to a point where you need Him, where you only hearing Him. He used the people that will listen to Him, or He put you in a position where you will listen to Him. And the only way typically that happens is by removing people and removing things out of your life, because when you got all these distractions, you're not going to hear Him. You're not going to want to hear Him. When everything going right for you, why you gonna want to listen to the Most High? You gonna say, "Well, I'm doing this. Ah, man, it's just it's my swag. It's me, man. I'm just able to move things the way I talk, man. The way people relate to me, me, man. It's the way I do my thing, me. The Most High don't want no me person. He can't deal with no me person. Not in that state. Is no way, because you're gonna be going off of, you think you got it because it's because of your greatness, not because of Him. If He wants you to, let's think about the story of Samson. Samson was the strongest man ever. I don't believe Samson probably was no super muscular looking guy and no big huge guy, because that wouldn't go along with how the Most High Yah operates. Because if Samson was a big strong Goliath looking guy, 9 feet and all that type of stuff, and super huge, then what is everybody gonna say? Everybody gonna say, "Oh, the Samson got that strength because he just big and strong. It's nobody like him. He's so fierce. Samson. They gonna give all the credit to Samson. I believe if Samson was a regular looking guy who took a Nazarite vow from birth, his mama, the Most High designated him as a Nazarite. His mama followed the orders. His hair was never cut. She didn't drink no wine and no fermented drink while she was pregnant. He didn't drink no wine. The Most High just made him special. I believe he was a regular looking man with the strength only from the Most High, because that's how the Most High operate. Because then you can't give the credit to Samson himself. You got to say, man that the Most High Yah created, Samson, that Hebrew, that Israelite man, he was something else. He got his strength from Yah. He was able to kill 1,000 men. He was able to rip a lion apart. Man, that's an awesome Elohim. That's an awesome God. The Most High wants the credit for Him. He don't want you to get a credit to man, because when you get a credit to man, then you idol worship. especially when it comes to our people, the Israelites. He gave us specific instructions of what to do and what not to do. And we're going to get further into that as we go along in these studies because we have to learn, well, why are we going through this? We have to learn that. We going through all of this stuff for a reason. So we have to go over what we did, the disobedience, which we talked a little bit about it today. Lot and his daughters doing incest, sleeping with their own father. Lot not listening, not going where they said he was going to go, hesitating. His wife not listening. They said, don't look back. She looks back and gets killed. Disobedience. We can try to pretend like it ain't no big deal, but it don't work both ways. You can't cry about our situations and what we going through as Israelites. We can't not recognize ourselves as Israelites. We can't not call on the name of Yah. We can't do these different wicked things. We can't eat what we want, dress how we want, sin, talk how we want to each other, treat each other any kind of way. And most importantly, idol worshiping, praising false gods, not calling on the Most High name, worshiping idol worship, worshiping gods of metal, stone, crosses, flags, statues, all that stuff is idol worship. Celebrities, your car, your money, sex, worshiping all these things, bowing to these things. These things is the only thing that means something in your life. That's all idol worship and false worship. And then you say, well, why are we going through these things? Well, look what we doing and look what we've been doing. Get in your Bible and read. Study. Study to show thyself approved. It's a reason why they said if you want to have something from a black person, an Israelite, put it in a book. Because they got to a point where we don't want to read, we don't want to study, and that's because it was hundreds of years where that was shunned. We were told, oh, don't read nothing. You can't read. You can't learn how to read and things like that. So it didn't happen by coincidence because we are an intelligent people. We are a great people. We are a great nation. We the chosen people set apart by Yah as his treasured possession. Get in your Bible and read. Watch my videos, watch other people's videos, teaching. Brothers and sisters be putting together a lot of good material that you can reference and read yourself where you don't even have to do all the work. You can just pretty much go back like, oh, they showing me the scriptures. I don't have to see all the scriptures myself. They showing them to me. Then I just got to find those scriptures. I may not can have the time to find all the pictures and um, all the magazine and book articles telling that we, Israelites, talking about our Hebrew heritage, talking about us as the Jews and the differential and the different things we went through. It's all type of documentaries out there. One that I recommend that's on Tubi. Tubi is free. Reclaiming the Throne. That's a good one. It's a lot of things out here that can help you. But get into your Bible and study. It's very important. Uphold the Sabbath, which is Saturday, not Sunday. So I'm coming to you on the Sabbath, hoping and praying that the Most High finds favor in what I'm doing, that I can uplift his name, that y'all will tune in. And for me, not don't get discouraged because you're putting it on a platform that's not controlled by your people. And a lot of people don't want to look at good things, so you may not get a whole bunch of views. You might get a whole bunch of views, but long as you're doing the Most High's will, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged when people don't listen, because it's not a whole lot of people that want to call on the name of the Most High Yah and want to do right. But if you can just reach one, then the heavens rejoice. If you're doing it yourself, if you can get your children or your wife or your husband or your household the heavens rejoice. So you can't get discouraged in this thing. We got to have strength and endurance, and we got to lift each other up. Don't be too cool and too afraid to call on the name of the Most High Yah. It ain't cool being with the world. Because trust me, you're going to get to a point at some point in your life where the world don't have nothing to offer you. If you got any type of righteousness in you whatsoever, you're going to be like, man, the food ain't hitting. The food just don't taste right. I don't care about this sex. I don't care about what they talking about on TV. Like, it's too wicked. It's not relating to me. I just don't care. I'm at a point that's not helping me where I'm at and what I need. My spirit needs something more. The Most High is calling me for something different, for something more. And I'm not, doing that same old stuff over and over again. What does it do for you? It don't even do nothing for you. Then you realize, like, man, more people just be really doing nothing. It's just stuff to occupy their time and to keep them away from the Most High because they scared to call on the Most High and get deep. Because then you have to change. Once you know the truth, and once the Ruach, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit calls you, the Ruach Kodesh, once that calls you, the Holy Spirit calls you, you got to change. It's going to move. It's burning a fire deep within you. You're going to want to change and have to change. And a lot of people are scared to change. They just want to go with the norm. They want to be with the group. But like I tell people, even if it's hard to find, it's other people out here that's praising Yah. It's other people that's calling on the name of your house. Like, you're not the only one. It's people that's teaching their children this. And even if you was the only one, then that's glorious. But you're not the only one. You can help other people. You could start a group. You could start a prayer circle. You can bring, even if it's just one or two other people or another couple, you can have them come to your house. You can go to their house and y'all can do y'all Bible study and reading. You could talk about righteousness, talk about the Most High and fellowship. You don't have to be in no big group. If other people want to do Sunday worship and they don't want to worship on the Sabbath and rest on the seventh day and they want to do that Sunday worship that's of the world, let them do it. You ain't going to be able to stop them. You can try to tell them the truth, but they going to do what they do. It's about what you do. Thank you. I love y'all. I hope that this reaches you and resonates in your heart. I pray to the Most High Yah for Yisrael. I pray that he brings our people back, that we come back to him with our whole hearts and souls like we need to, so we can get up out of these curses, so we can honor the Father like we should do, so we can love each other and have strong families, do righteousness, so we won't be talking to each other crazy, mistreating each other, having all this sexual deviancy, so we can see our children, parent our neighborhoods and households. It's sad looking at where we at and what we become and what the whole world has become, because we not in the place that we supposed to be, and we're not honoring the Most High, and we're not showing others what to do. And then there's some others that are not Israelites that's doing the right thing, and we not even doing the right thing. But it's sad, but we just got to keep strong. Those who are trying to do righteousness and are living in righteousness as best they can and honoring the Most High, we have to stay strong, because you best believe the wicked are going to do their job. They going to do what they going to do. So we have to be strong and do what we supposed to do. We can't cower to them, and we can't give up, because if it's not that many of us doing the righteousness and doing the right things, if we give up, then what is the world going to be like then? I thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, this is Brother Jay Yisrael, and I'm coming to you on this Shabbat 10/28, 2023. Sometimes them dates, man, they get to you because time be moving fast. You don't got time to wait. 10/28/23. And y'all willing, I'll be coming to you next week for another Shabbat class. I thank you. I want to say shalom, shalom, peace and love and blessings to you in the name of the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. Thank you.